Liquidity planning is one of the most business-critical activities done by automotive supplier finance teams.
But it's also one of the most complex activities.
Let's talk about how to forecast cash flow if you are an automotive supplier with the SAP ERP system.
It all starts with the customer. A large OEM plans their production, calculates material requirements, and prepares to send the orders via EDI or electronic data interchange.
The orders are transmitted to you, the manufacturer, instantly in an automated data flow.
Once they arrive, your supply chain initiates MRP, or material requirements planning. They explode the parts in the orders with their bill of materials.
This tells them how many raw material components are required and when these need to be ordered and delivered, considering transit times and inventory levels.
The supply chain department then sends the raw material orders to your own suppliers, also via EDI. Your supplier then ships you the ordered parts, which are stocked in your own warehouse and made available for production. Ultimately, the raw material components are consumed in production as they turn into final customer parts, which are then transferred to the finished goods warehouse, loaded onto the truck, and shipped to the customer who originally ordered them. And to complete this cycle of business events from the accounting side, invoices are exchanged and eventually paid, thereby concluding the story of a single customer order. This end-to-end business process repeats every minute, generating thousands of data points in the ERP system, each having a specific liquidity planning relevance. Sounds simple in theory, but where does one find this data in the ERP system? The accounting data is easy. SAP offers native transactions that export a list of open customer and supplier amounts. FBL1N for vendor amounts, FBL5N for customer amounts, and FBL3N for special GL amounts, such as GRNI. The operational data is trickier. Native transaction codes for a financial view of the orders don't exist by default. While custom 𝗧𝗵𝗲 reports may offer partial answers, you'll probably need to combine them with data from the underlying ERP tables to get the full financial forecasting view. Moreover, with most ERP exports being nothing but Excel sheets, you will probably need someone to build and operate a complex Excel model, spending hours or days each week chasing people for data and resolving Excel issues, leaving little time for analysis, follow-up, and value creation. Now, you could take a shortcut and simplify some of the planning assumptions. You could, for example, reverse engineer the monthly financial budget into direct cash flow. The revenue budget could be used for customer inflows. Simply take the monthly amounts and divide by 4 to get weekly equivalents, and split those between factoring and non-factoring customers. Then, assuming the non-factoring customers have average payment terms of, say, 15 days, you can plan the cash-in of their revenue 2 weeks later. Then, regarding the factoring customers, let's assume they have payment terms of 30 days and the factoring provider finances 75% of the receivables. The factored portion would be cashed in immediately and the unfactored 1 month after the revenue. But using the P&L budget for direct cash flow forecasting and operational decisions is like using seasonal averages to predict the weather for the next 2 weeks. Proper liquidity forecasting with actionable insights for operational decisions requires a more data-driven approach. Each business event must be modeled across all the stages of the cash conversion cycle. For example, a single sales order needs to be matched with the customer prices, the payment terms, the tax conditions, as well as potential factoring conditions, which would split the value of the order and the timing of its inflow. Needless to say, sales orders are merely one of numerous cash flow planning inputs, where each of these inputs will have its challenges in terms of data volume and planning complexity. To stay on top of it all and model each line item accurately, you will need a combination of Excel ninjas, consultants, and data engineers. What if there were a better way? What if you could have automated and precise liquidity forecasting ready in days without lengthy IT projects and without needing an internal data team? At 𝗧𝗵𝗲 𝗪𝗲𝗡 BI, We have the solution. We connect directly to the tables of the ERP data model. And instead of what would be weeks or months of development, we get your liquidity planning up and running in days. Based on real-time operational ERP data, fully integrated with your existing Excel models, configurable and customizable to your unique business needs. Are you ready to take your liquidity planning into the digital age? With complex data, it's a simple choice.